Greetings, fellow DC superfans. Bluedragonfive here,
And Mutale Munenshiku.
and we're back. We're talking Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 4, Need I Say Door. That's right. So we are, we were joined by Mutale, and Mutale, how you been feeling about Season 2 of Peacemaker? Like, overall, how do you feel about Peacemaker, and how do you think Season 2's been going?
Yeah, I really like Peacemaker. I think as far as James Gunn's DC stuff, I think it's my favorite thing he's done, even more than like Suicide Squad. Not that because I do really love Suicide Squad. I think it's just maybe just all the character stuff with Peacemaker overall, like how like Gunn and all these other projects, he always balances humor and crazy comic book stuff with all the character stuff, and he does that really well with Peacemaker. And with season two, I think I'm enjoying it as much as I did season one. I do like how we're continuing all the character stuff with him in season one, with him still feeling guilty about his dad, as well as him killing Rick Flag, and he's going to be dealing with that with his Rick Flag's dad that wants revenge, but at the same time, he's found this dimension where basically everything he's wanted with his brother being alive, him having a good relationship with his dad, and him being a hero. I think all of that is really good, and I'm really like interested how there does seem to be a bit of slow build up with this dimension that Peacemaker's in. That I guess probably is going to be know a lot more of in episodes 6, 7, and 8 that God has talked about. So yeah, I'm enjoying it overall. Really good.
All right. Yeah, I thought this was honestly. I thought this was a good episode, but I don't think it had the punch of last week's episode. I think this is more of like this is like we're going to set the pieces for the back half of the season kind of an episode. We had. I think John Economos was kind of a standout for me on this episode. So I think
Yeah,
we're giving Economos good stuff here.
yeah, yeah. Just him having to like uh oh yeah, trying to divert as much as possible to make sure Peacemaker doesn't get caught. Yeah, I thought it was
A lot,
really
lot of
funny.
stall, lot of stall tactics comedy.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get down to brass tacks here. Let's So first off, we have the continue. Apparently, have you been watching the Insider podcast on like the James Gunn and company talking about the episodes week to week? Have you been watching any of
No,
that?
no, I haven't yet, but actually, I
It's
do need
very
to
good. I
actually.
highly recommend it. James Gunn like doing like
Okay,
these rewatches and these things on the show. It's really good.
yeah, yeah,
Anyways,
because
I
I did
want
season one, but not season two. Yeah, it's season one, just season two I haven't watched yet.
right. Well, yeah, season. It's been good for season 2 as well. I mean, it's been very informative.
Yeah.
Same type of podcast.
Hmm.
Anyway, so on that, he's basically confirmed that yeah. So the whole season's going to have the flashback runner like we have here. Every episode opens on kind of a flashback that kind of informs the episode that we're watching. So this flashback is 35 years ago. We have Augie and the boys, our universe, our mainline universe. They're
Hmm.
they're hunting, they're going hunting, and they end up running across an alien, which Augie makes no bones about shooting, much to Keith of all peoples. Keith, saying, "No, wait, don't." Keith thinking like they can go on adventures and kind of ride bikes across the moon with this little guy, but Augie has different plans.
Yeah, yeah. So when I saw the alien, I kept thinking of Mr. Handsome from Superman, but I know it's like it wasn't that.
Yeah, I know you're right. It looks a little Mister Handsome esque. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So the idea this is a creature from one of the 99 dimensions that has the portal tech, and it was interesting that we saw Keith kind of getting the raw end of it from Augie. So sure, well Chris it was probably bad for both of them, but Chris probably got most of it though after killing Keith from
Mm,
Augie.
mm, yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so I think it's a really that bit though we do have with Keith. I don't mean to belabor the whole like slapping Keith bit, but I want to bring it up because it really shows that Keith he did have a softness that Keith wanted to spare the creatures, and Chris is more in fear and trying to like measure up to the influence of his father and everything. So that's kind of why he wasn't really speaking out there. But I think it shows that in the wake of Keith's death, Chris really did inherit his brother's heart, which I think is kind of the core of that character where we've gone with him. He's really inherited like like he's trying to kind of live on in his brother's influence. It feels like.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, so the point being, all this kind of reveals, and we kind of verbalize it later that Augie, despite it's a bit of a retcon, but essentially Augie did not invent the QUC, did not invent the quantum unfolding chamber technology. He stole it from the alien, but potentially some other
Yeah.
tech. Apparently, we're not going to find out like the origin of the helmets and everything until maybe next season, if there is one. So.
Okay. I thought it was. I assumed maybe it would be like in the other episodes we would, but
I mean,
okay.
unless James Gunn's really playing on the down low, he's just kind of said, no, not this season, but next, who knows? I don't know. There might be hints
Yeah.
of it, but we're not really. It sounds like we're not going to really tackle. We probably won't need to really tackle like the story for another time, kind of a thing.
All right. Okay. All right.
All right, so we have our Argus team that we set up at the end of the last episode. So we have John Economos just kind of in the thick of it. Basically, the way we ended the last episode was Chris is in a very precarious situation where Argus is going to basically look for that portal and have grounds to send him back to prison. It's going to be bad and possibly kill him too, like kill him and Eagly. So this is a very bad spot that he was just kind of walked home to and is completely unaware of. Economos knows, and he's kind of he's in a rock and a hard place in trying to warn Peacemaker what's coming for him. So he's a new team that he finds himself on. So it's Economos along with Judo Master, and I love the fun, snarky, and kind of silly banter between the two of them.
Between them.
Him and Judo
Yeah.
Master.
It's really
Yeah.
funny. It's in the car. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love the whole thing of like I think to some degree Judo Master he's upset about the tire iron thing, but I think he kind of respects a guy like Economos getting one on him despite his masterful fighting skills. I think to some degree. Plus, he got his licks in when he beat him up in season one, so I think it's kind of like it's this fun rivalry between the two of them.
Yeah. I was really glad. I'm glad Judo Master came back, especially when he fought Peacemaker again.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when they were fighting on that hill, I mean, when he toppled him over and basically Peacemaker just fell on him, I was like, oh my god, oh, like this the weight of John Cena on a man. That's oh boy, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah, especially on like someone as big as like Judo, as small as Judo Master must be worse.
Yeah, Judo Master's like 4 feet tall. He's like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just want to say Steve Agee, obviously he's a buddy of James Gunn's, and he's pretty much been almost been in a lot of his projects, at least all of his DC stuff, and he's kind of his
Yeah.
good luck charm. And I see there's a lot of trust there, and I think there's a lot of investment. Like Economos. Economos think Steve Agee was originally just supposed to be the body reference, like the body motion capture for King Shark, but then they realized, oh wait a minute,
Oh
you know
yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
realize John Economos in the comics looks a lot like Steve Agee if we dye his beard. So that's kind of how that ended up being in the movie.
John he is a character from the comics. Okay.
Yeah, so
I
Economos is from the comics, and Economos is actually modeled after John Ostrander. Hence, like Economos Ostrander. It's basically that's where they come from.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
remember, John
I
Ostrander
think they do look alike.
and remember
Yeah.
Ostrander cameoed in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. He was the guy who put the bombs in everybody's neck.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I've actually met Ostrander. He's really cool.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Anyway, so the point being, I think there's a lot of it's kind of a nice tribute to kind of the Suicide Squad, just having John Economos in their period with that. But Economos really we really let him shine here. I think AG has really made Economos he's getting progressively cooler, despite not really being able to do a lot. He's just cool, kind of standing up to everybody.
Yeah.
So with this team, we got Red Saint Wild, original character for the show, played by James Gunn, good luck charm, Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I've told Tiki this, and I told you was on. We've been talking about this on the podcast up to this point. I just want to run it by you. Are you aware that Red Saint Wild was a recast? That originally there was a different actor playing him. They kind of had to swap him.
Oh no, I did not know that. Who was supposed to play him
Well, that's the thing.
first?
They don't want to say. I don't know why he left or whatnot. So this is the same. And oddly, in season one, the exact same situation happened with Vigilante. They had an actor
Oh yeah,
playing
yeah, yeah.
Vigilante, and then they swapped because it just wasn't. And not because it sounds like not because there's anything wrong with the actor, but either that I don't think they'd say that, but mainly because it just wasn't working for some reason. Kind of an Eric
Hmm.
Stoltz Back to the Future situation. Didn't mean any
Uh,
harm, but he just wasn't. He wasn't Michael J. Fox.
okay, okay, okay.
So
Hmm.
presumably it's kind of the same situation here. But I remember the marketing. We had like kind of the Native American guys sitting. Basically the ceremony that we have at the end of this episode was like a promotional photo of like that ceremony that leaked, and it was a different actor.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So now they basically they've slotted in an emergency pinch. They kind of slot in Michael Rooker as the with the whole cultural appropriation kind of thing we can now add. It's not a Native American actor like we had previously.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
how did you feel about? Sorry, I just wanted to ask, how do you feel about the sort of being like, I think it was always described as like a side plot with like an eagle hunter going after Eagly. Because I think at first I was like, oh, okay, do you really need that? Like Eagly's fun, but I don't need. But I guess it is kind of fun, so I'm okay. I'm kind of cool with it. How are you with it?
Well, I mean, I got to admit, I really thought Red Saint Wild would have been maybe a 2 episode kind of thing, but we really have been kind of threading the needle with him because I think it's going to be really fun. It sounds like a really funny idea because we know. I mean, chances are Eagly's going to, especially if it's Michael Rooker. I mean, Eagly's going to outfox this guy. It's going to be funny. It's going to be James Gunn's been teasing like kind of like a cat and mouse, Tom and Jerry kind of,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
mouse hunt kind of comedy thing. So Eagly's
yeah,
most
yeah,
likely going to be fine, but it's going to be funny to see this guy try. But then again, he does look rather good at what he does here.
yeah.
Yeah, with that ceremony at
You,
the end. So I think Eagly's going to be fine, but I think it's going to be dicey. And the point being, I think the side plots get a little better because we're showing that this guy he does have by proxy of his ability and his spiritual connection, he's going to be able to find where that cabin is, which is going to be trouble for Peacemaker and the whole. I think honestly, I think what we're going to end up doing is Red Saint Wild is incidentally going to be how Argus finds the portal and how they're going to enter through that portal and upend Peacemaker's other reality.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was actually say. That whole like ritual he did, it was actually really gorgeous. Like when it just comes blue everywhere. It was really gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
And
very
actually, and I
unsanitary, but it's
remember,
very.
yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, I guess I think if I remember in an interview, James Gunn said that the second season would be magical. And then I was watching this season, I was like, well, it's not really magical. And I think that's the only moment where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it is kind of magical.
Mm,
So I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm assuming that will continue with the other episodes, I guess.
and it's possible.
Hmm.
Yeah. So let's see. So we have Red Saint Wild again, Captain Cultural Appropriation, as Economos likes to refer to him as. Here's what I love about Red Saint Wild, and this episode really flourished with. I get the sense that his whole they haven't really spelled it out, but they haven't done like an origin on him or anything. But it really because again he's an original character for the show too, so we didn't really know anything about this guy. Period. But
Mm-hmm.
it really feels that this guy it's kind of like the like this guy sees himself as I don't know, like an Iron Fist of some kind. He sees himself as like he was brought into the ways of the Native American people, and he is like kind of like
Ah,
that kind of thing. I
yeah,
think he
yeah, yeah,
views himself almost like as like a character who's brought in. He's like the representative, despite not being of the origin of the nationality that he's representing. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
now, again, I'm not
Mm.
jumping on a bandwagon for Iron Fist. I'm just saying that's usually the criticism people have with Iron Fist. So I'm just saying that's kind of I think this guy's kind of like the lesser version of kind of what like Iron Fist is like the proper version of what that kind of thing is when it works. And I think this guy he
Yeah,
means well. He wants to be. He basically it sounds like the eagle is the representation of America, and America obviously over the years not been great to the American
yeah,
people, at least historically, and that's kind of what his whole deal is.
yeah, yeah. I can see. Yeah, yeah. You're right.
And he's basically this guy just really he's just a maniac who likes to kill eagles, and he's just trying to justify it with the
The
spiritualism
Native
of Native
American
American.
stuff.
That's essentially what it is. He's a maniac who likes to kill eagles, and I guess he probably had honestly, if I'm a betting man, he probably had a spirit quest. And that he just kind of went off the deep end. He had a spirit quest. He ended up killing an eagle as part of like the spirit quest, and he just thought, "This is my purpose."
This is his identity. I'm going to make
Yeah,
this my identity. Mm,
exactly.
mm.
But I think I love that he is like, for he says Chinaman. He calls Judo Master. You took out this little Chinaman with the tire iron. I love that I get the sense that he very sincerely is not trying to be offensive or ignorant, but he's ignorant. He genuinely thinks
Yeah,
that
I think it's what he
Vietnam and
really
everything.
believes. Yeah, he
Yeah,
just doesn't. Yeah, it's just what he believes. Yeah, he just what he believes.
exactly. But I love though. This is what I love. That Economist does stand. I think that earns some points with Judo Master, where Economist says, "Hey, a hole. He said he's from Vietnam. He's not. He's not from China." Just stick it up for him a little bit, I think I don't know. It goes a little long because again, he and Judo Master don't really hate each other. They just they hate that they've kind of beaten up each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. All right, let's see. So Bordeaux and Fleury, I love that they also Pony Boy. But we already kind of talked about him before. Who, by the way, was from She-Hulk. He was the Leapfrog from She-Hulk.
Oh, oh, that's who he was. Because when I looked, I
Yeah,
was like,
you
okay,
didn't
who is he? I was
recognize
like,
him?
okay, yeah. Okay.
That's him.
That's pretty funny.
Anyway, so besides Pony Boy, his new nickname, thanks to Fleury. Yeah, so he's
Mm.
Economist is biting back on these basically his babysitters with Bordeaux and Fleury, and Bordeaux might have Mr. Terrific connections, but we don't really know yet.
Yeah. Can I just say, Economos like spitting on Flurry. I was like, damn, like, it's like how he just like isn't taking crap from him. That was like that's gonna
I
actually
was
shock you.
so wowed by it. It was so cool. Like, yeah, Economos, yeah, that guy. Because he's just really sick of him calling him Ginger Cool. It's like this is Economos who's not taking like the nicknames that were thrust upon him. Like Peacemaker had an arc with the whole the whole dye beard thing. That was like had an excellent payoff, and then he calls him the Econo Goat. He calls him like a positive nickname. Now there was an arc there. He's
Yeah.
not going through that again. Okay, and he told Fleur
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning, "Hey, don't call me Ginger Cool." And this is like him laying down the law, like, "Hey, not cool." And yeah, apparently they built like a whole rig. That's not. Thank goodness that's not just him spitting on him. What they did is they off screen because it's in two shots. There's like a rig that it's like firing
Yeah.
KY jelly in Tim Meadows' eye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because apparently James Gunn, early in his career on Tromeo and Juliet, he had to do a spitting scene. It was really gross, and the actor actually had to spit on the guy,
I
and
guess he didn't want to do
it
that
wasn't
again. So I was like,
pleasant.
okay. Uh,
Yeah. Anywho, plus remember these are these are trauma actors. The trauma actors aren't widely known for their good hygiene. I will say
uh,
that much.
okay. Like, we'll kept taking word on that.
Okay, so point then we have the whole thing in Bordeaux where he's saying, I don't have to deal with your crap. Well, actually, you are paid to deal with that.
Mm,
It's like you
mm-hmm.
absolutely. I mean, you read my file. I'm. This is my. I excel. All my faults are made up for by how good I am at my job. So I like that she's kind of. It's like okay, fine, fine.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. Anyway, so Economos takes the opportunity to warn Peacemaker and basically is stalling to buy him time so he can escape. With thanks to the flashback, we know we have this little metal box that basically unfolds, and that's where he's set up where the portal goes. So he has very little time. He's got to go a safe place where he can set up the new portal
mm-hmm.
and also deactivate the one that's currently at the house. Otherwise, he's going to get in big trouble, and they'll essentially give him permission to kill him.
Yeah, and he's very fortunate Economos was able to give him some time.
Yep, right up to the last second. Plus, it's like a very arduous process just to do this thing. It's a risk, and it's like it's almost a big Evil Dead kind of explosion moment. Like a big Evil Dead kind of. There are a lot of Evil Dead homages in this to me. We go to a cabin, we have like the concussive thing, and we have when we do the Eagle POV shot later on, it looks like a Sam Raimi camera.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I see that.
Of course, now you got to remember, Sam Raimi essentially, he really deserves money for the GoPro camera. I know he didn't invent it, but I'm just saying it was like feels like the impetus for the GoPro.
Okay.
Just given like nowadays you can do this easily with like the volume of the GoPro or something, the tracking camera. But I'm saying back in the day though, it was all practical.
Yeah,
Guy with a camera running really fast.
yeah. I think he uses. Then he used it so much. Yeah, in the first Evil Dead. I think by the end, like it goes like really fast to the camera, and then it like ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So let's see. So one being we have a very tense sequence in which after Chris battles Judo Master, which again, nice continuity here. Judo Master, he's upset about the butterfly thing, where he really believed in what the mission of the butterflies were, and he said, "You screwed the world once. I'm not going to let you do it again."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So they tumble. Judo Masters gets knocked out. We know he's not dead because this guy's very hard to kill. As
Yep, he
Peacemaker
is.
says, he's like toilet paper.
Mm.
All right, let's see. So after that awesome fight, Economos, by the way, in the midst of all this, I love that Economos saved Eagle. You really see that Economos, when pressed, he will do the right thing. But it's really just, it's going to be a lot of tension, just a lot of tension, a lot of discomfort for him to get to that place, for him to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, when Economos pushed Red Saint Wild, when he was knocked on the rock, I actually was like, no, there's no way he died. And then I was like,
I
okay.
legitimately thought he was dead in that moment because the running gag is that we keep killing off Michael. And James Gunn consistently kills Michael Rooker's characters. Rarely do I
Yeah.
don't think honestly. I want to say it's a clean sweep. I don't think any of his characters have survived. Technically, they survived movies with Yondu. Like Yondu survived Guardians 1. Everything
Mm-hmm.
else, though, that's the thing. Michael Rooker, he's dead. Every like in the James Gunn Superman, his robot dead.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Just saying, So so the point being, so
He
he
probably, he
very
probably
easily could have been killed.
yeah.
Ultimately, he probably will be killed. Let's be honest. I think Eagly's going to kill him. Somehow, this guy's going to bite it. But I really thought, oh my god, all this build up. Yeah, he might be killed off just that instantly. It's like a gag.
Yeah. And actually, but I would say when he did wake up, I actually thought it was going to be, oh, he doesn't remember. I was like, oh, I hope it's not like an amnesia thing. But I was like, oh, no. No, he just sees Eagly as this, what did you call it? The prime
The
eagle?
prime eagle.
The prime eagle.
Essentially, he's believing the whole two eagle thing, and he thinks that Eagly is like the prime eagle that maybe summon another eagle to save him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, part of me wonders. Now, I'm not putting a lot of stock in this, but there's a theory that's going around that perhaps there might be actually two Eaglies because of that portal. Because remember, Eagly flew in, and he's flying around, and then Chris was separated from Eagly when he came back from that door.
Mm. Oh,
It is not out of the realm
okay.
possibility, but I don't believe it personally, but it is possible.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I do either, but I guess, okay, I guess, yeah, it could be possible, I suppose.
It would. There's a sliver. There are two bits of evidence potentially for that theory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one, this Eagly, now mind you, you could always just make the very logical argument. Okay, Eagly, he's very well trained, so that's why he was able to dispatch all those guys, episode 2, But it's also possible
Yes.
that the more violent Peacemaker, maybe that's how he trained his Eagly.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, I never considered like does that dimension Peacemaker have his own Eagly? We never know that. So
We have not met. We haven't addressed the Eagly in the other universe yet. And honestly, there is a chance we don't have an Eagly because we have Keith. Honestly, that's what I'm subscribing to. I don't think we have an Eagly because we never had a need for an Eagly.
okay,
Like Eagly
okay,
fills the Keith void in our mainline universe. With Keith there, no Eagly.
okay, yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
It's a humble guess, mind
Mm.
you.
And
Now,
I guess, and also because they are called. Sorry. So it's because they're the I think it's the something trio. So yeah, I guess probably Eagly isn't there.
so the other thing is in this episode, Eagly was a little uncooperative. Like when they had to, kind of use the meat to get him out there, use the processed meat.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's a. But again, you could always say Eagly. We know he loves chips and he loves processed. He loves like the cold cuts and bologna and stuff, which we grossly demonstrate with Red Saint Wild being the Eagle tracker.
yeah. uh,
Just to talk about the post credit, you watch the post credit scene, right?
uh, which post credits? Which?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
the.
post credits.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No, I didn't. I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, basically, they're honestly the post credits on Peacemaker most traditionally are like extended scenes, like alternate takes of the scenes that they were very tempted to use, and they ultimately show just for the heck of it. But they would have disrupted the flow or something, so we kind of cut them. But this was like that scene going on, and it's the idea. It's Rooker, and it's basically a lot of times it's riffing or improvisation that kind of gets cut for time, but it was
Okay,
insanely
all
funny.
right.
So in this
Okay,
case, it was. It was Red Saint Wild like listing off all the things that he ate in like 4 days. And like Economos is like he's about to lose his lunch, and they had this great joke where Red Saint Wild's going like, "This eagle eats better than I do," which was
okay,
really
okay, no,
funny. And I kind of wish a part of me wished did make the final cut. It was really funny.
okay, okay. I'll when I go back to episode, I think I'll watch them again, and
Yeah.
I'm also curious what the post credits will be for the other episodes, for future episodes.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, so the point being, we pull it off by the skin of our teeth here. We set up the new QUC at Chris's grandfather's cabin, hunting cabin, which basically is where we were at the start of the episode.
Hmm.
Okay, so meanwhile, Amelia Harcourt, she's still getting the bad habits, still picking fights because she's upset about how life's been going since being blackballed by Waller. And
Yeah.
Rick Flag Senior, having come up empty, he has a connection to Harcourt, so he gives her a visit as like Plan B to get Peacemaker.
Hmm.
So it makes sense that they have history, given what we learned last episode. That our mainline universe hardcore, much like the other one, but a little deeper this time. Because the
Yeah.
other one, her nickname, by the way, in the Insider podcast, like basically James Gunn, everyone on the production, they nicknamed the second universe as Amelia Hardcourt Thirst Court.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember.
So So yeah, she point being that Amelia Hardcourt, I really get the sense that she settled. That one, I think it's in reverse, where she was with Peacemaker and then she ended up settling for Rick Flag. In mainline universe, it's the other way around. Mainline universe, it's she was with Rick Flag, like off the books because he was kind of in a relationship with the Enchantress, but too afraid to break up with her because she might put her
She was a
whole
sorceress.
yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, so while that happened, uh, you know, it's a point made though she was really close. She was the idea she was really good friends with Rick Flag and kind of a friends with benefits situation, and she presumably knew Rick Flag Senior, and they kind of knew each other. Even if it was just in the aftermath of the funeral and everything, they probably got to know each other. And that's kind of the implication.
Yeah, probably.
So Rick, I love how Frank Grillo plays this scene. They got a lot of good, a lot of good chemistry here. They got a lot of good, there's a sense of history, like just him looking at that picture. You kind of know everything you need to know. He's really good.
Yeah, yeah, like it really just sits like he's feeling like the like emotion of losing his son. Which I just want to say, I don't know, I kind of I know I think there was always a thing about people not buying like with the age gap between Joel Kinnaman and Frank Grillo as father and son. But I guess with it just being like 18 years, like I kind of buy them as father and son. Like I don't know, yeah, I just buy them as yeah, I thought it really worked.
I mean, look, I think it's fine. Plus, the idea is this Rick Flag Senior supposed to have like gray hair usually. I mean, he dyed it for the promotion, but it's. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't
I
know.
think
I
it's
think for
fine.
future
Plus, I mean, Grill. I think Grill's a good enough actor. It works.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I don't know. I feel like I guess I'm curious when they do the gray hair in like live action because I guess like it because I don't know Creature Commandos it works. I'm just because it's animated. I don't know like what it will look like in like live action. Will it look as good?
I mean, well, honestly, what I think is going to happen is just over time, it's going to be it'll be less dyed, so like it'll get grayer, and then it'll be probably full gray by the time they get to like. So, for example, at some point. we are going to get those Creature Commandos in live action. When that happens, I'm sure he's going to be. I think he's going to be full gray. But then again, you have to remember the reality of it is, it's not that Frank Grillo is unwilling to have the gray hair. The problem is Frank
You said
Grillo has other roles.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
He's got other
Mm,
roles that require him to not have gray hair, and he has to work between seasons of movies and everything. That's the problem.
yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to say when Harcourt said that, oh, I heard you like broke your back. That was referring to Creature Commandos, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So Clayface broke
Okay,
his
yeah.
back.
Okay,
Now,
yeah,
mind
yeah.
you,
All
we
right.
don't know if that's the Clayface that's getting. So the Clayface that's getting the movie next year, that is in the DCU. It's not. It's not a one-off. That's in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Now, what we don't know is if it's the same Clayface, because there have been multiple Clayfaces in the comics, and if memory serves, this new one is going to be Basil Carlo. Now we just don't know,
Oh,
now we don't know if the one we saw in Creature Commandos was Carlo or Matt Hagen or a different one.
yeah. Oh, I heard that the one in the movie is Matt Hagen. That's what I heard
Well,
because of how it was inspired by the Batman the Animated Series episodes.
yeah, okay, this is where I got to do Clayface 101 for the kids out there. So, kids, believe me, myself, we all grew up with Matt Hagen being Clayface, but the thing is, when they did the animated series, they combined a few Clayfaces. It's basically
Yeah.
Basil. That Clayface essentially is Basil Carlo, especially given the fact that in Feet of Clay, in the two parts, part one, that Clayface is like how Clayface was done in the beginning, where he can only mold his face. And then, of course, by two, it's the traditional full body Clayface.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
that's kind of the combination of Clayfaces there, where Basil Carlo is the actor. I
Okay.
want to say Matt Hagen was I think he was the first full body Clayface before we retroactively made everyone full body.
Oh, he was okay. So he was the one that like did like the shapeshifting, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I can't remember if I think Matt Hagen was the first one to do the full. He was the full clay mound. I think. I
Okay.
don't fully recall. But all I know is that like Matt Hagen he was like he was mystic clay for him. He was a treasure hunter, and he ended up getting submerged in clay and everything. And then
Okay.
technically, the animated series might have pulled. That's the thing. There were a couple other like lesser known ones in the '90s, and I think they might have pulled one more. So, I guess with some of the specific ways in which he shapeshifted, so it's a little unclear. But the point being, predominantly, it's Basil Carlo and Matt Hagen. Now, I can't honestly. I misheard. Maybe they did say Matt Hagen. I can't remember if they said Matt Hagen or if they said Basil Carlo. I thought they said Basil Carlo, but all I know is they're going with the actor Clayface. Traditionally,
Yeah.
comics Basil Carlo, animated series Matt Hagen. The movie is animated series influence, but I don't know, if those credits transfer.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I just
I wouldn't
because of
mind
they
if they
said the
did.
like
I don't
speed
think
of
anyone
play.
really cares. I think Matt Hagen is going to be fine, but then again, the aficionados are going to say, "Well, actually, he's Basil Carlo."
Yeah. I guess it would be interesting. I guess assuming this is like if this is like the second Clayface, and I guess this one, the one that we saw in Creature Commandos, would that be Vessel Carlo?
I mean, that is the
And it,
question because technically, that one, I mean, we imply that one's dead. Now, of course, Clayface is very hard to kill, but
hmm,
I don't know. So that's a question of how one is that Clayface actually dead. Implication is yes, and if so, I mean, is this thing a prequel with that Clayface, or is it other Clayface?
and yeah, and I guess maybe this doesn't mean much, but I remember when I think the actor was announced, Gunn did say this is our DCU Clayface. He didn't
Yeah,
say like, oh, this is the other Clayface, so it could
exactly.
be
That's all
that
they said.
guy. But I guess who knows? Yeah, really, who knows? I guess maybe we'll see. I don't know when we get maybe more stuff with the movie and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
we'll see.
All right, let's see. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, he broke. So Clayface, the A Clayface, broke his back while he was fighting alongside Frankenstein. So, but yeah, so they have a history together, and he's very nice to Hardcore. He really respects her, and I love the divide though, where he sees that picture and is like, as much, she really liked my son, but by the same token, she's friends with his killer.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like that flag, and this is what honestly I gotta be honest. Ever since Creature Commandos, I've it helps that I really love Frank Grillo, but beyond that, I mean, I love what we've done with Rick Flag. He was one of my favorite parts of Creature Commandos, despite kind of like taking him out towards the end there. But
Yeah, true.
he was my favorite. He was my favorite part of Creature Commandos, and I love that what we did with him there is he's a really smart character, and we kind of bring that here where he had this great scene where he points out like she says, look, Waller, Waller told Peacemaker to kill your son, and he says, "Well, yeah, I know that, but also, we all defied Waller. I defied her in Creature Commandos. You defied her in Corte Maltese.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So no judgments or anything, but still, it's like, but some that is to again, it's gonna be really see things like this make that eventual scene all the more interesting, which we've been building up, which is going to be if Rick Flag Senior sitting down and having a conversation with Peacemaker. That's going to be
yeah,
really interesting,
yeah,
especially if he's like he knows all these facts, but he's got to reconcile with it. And all you can see right now is he's still seeing red. He's still upset with Peacemaker, and he's going to be confronting him with that choice that he made.
yeah. And also, I do wonder if somehow he sees Rick Flag Jr. in the other dimension. I wonder about that.
I think like I'm convinced that we're going to have Rick Flag Senior entering that. He's going to have a moment with that Rick Flag, and I've joked with Tiki that I've joked it would be it might be on par with James Gunn's humor where he goes there and like they get into like a firefight or something. And I think the idea is like he is very it's kind of like he still loves his son, but this Rick Flag is is presumably a guy who never saw combat and is nowhere near like like his son was in the other universe. It'll be more like a coddling kind of thing.
Oh,
It's like, but it'll be a gag where I think he loves his son, but he's also very frustrated by him, despite the fact that he misses, despite the fact that he's the dead son.
okay, yeah,
I mean,
okay,
we'll
yeah,
see. Honestly, the real question is, will Rick Flag Senior be compelled to take that Rick Flag to his universe, or will he be smart enough to be like, no, we can't. I can't mess with it. I gotta leave him here.
yeah. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we learn more about the dimension and what it's like. I guess, yeah,
Like
probably.
I honestly, I have here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Peacemaker, if caught next episode, is going to try to use it as a bargaining chip?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I
Um,
can bring your son back. Wait, what? What do you mean you can bring my son back? I can bring you. He's
okay,
alive.
yeah. Actually, no, you know what? Actually, no, no, no. Maybe, actually, no. Maybe you're right. I guess if it's like, okay, this dimension where uh all my dreams come true, you could probably use that. That's maybe it would be a way for him to like maybe ease that guilt for him. So yeah, actually, maybe I could see him. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I could see like Peacemaker do that.
Okay, anyway, so before we speculate, let's getting through the episode. So hardcore, basically, it's confirmed that she was indeed blackballed by Waller, which is complete BS to her. She's understandably frustrated. Rick Flag offers her, like, look, we can get you squared away with the U.S. government, but you got to give me Peacemaker.
Mm,
So that's the rub right there. She's gonna have to betray Peacemaker to get her lights turned back on to get basically get the not have to worry about it. See the idea of hardcore is that she's only been trained for this one thing. Waller took that job away from her, so now all she has is violence with no direction.
yeah, I guess sort of similar to like well, sort of similar to Economos, and that both of them don't having to work for Argus and well being having to work for August and like not wanting to like turn Peacemaker in. And I guess their hope is that she'll try and find a way so that he doesn't get caught, even though she does want her job back.
Yeah. Ultimately, I don't. I mean, a part of me thinks she's gonna. I really think she's gonna end up doing it, but I think it'll be. I mean, it's really hard to say. A part of me thinks she's gonna do it, and that'll be like the last straw for him to head back to that universe and not come back. That's kind of what it feels. If that happens, it feels like he's just gonna go to the other universe and stay there. If
Yeah,
she
because
doesn't, though, I mean, it could just be like the whole thing of like I can bring you Rick Flag Jr. Just they basically bring senior to the universe.
because so far Peacemaker has just been like he visited the dimension for a bit, but comes back to his, and I think it is a sort of is like I don't know, like what could be the tipping point where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay here, stay here.
All right. So speaking of which, so Adebayo and Chris they get to talking and like in front of like the door there, and he loops her in on everything that's been going on, and basically she's just wowed by the Twilight Zone kind of caliber of what's going on. So you killed your
Mhm.
other self?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's also trying to make her. Sorry, it's just when she's trying to make the security company that she's making, and it's in a magazine that
Like
Peacemaker
Soldier
says,
magazine or something.
yeah, only like 12 people buy, and it's just for scams.
1,200? No, no. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, crap.
It's, uh,
So also we kind of bring. I'm glad that we addressed this in some way, shape, or form. That there was a little bit of doubt on her since she says like you saw your dad like Chris, you were seeing him like towards the end of the finale last season. He says no, 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 this is real.
mm. Yeah, I like that they did address that because when I was watching the second season, I was like, oh, how come he's not like seeing the ghost of his dad like he did? But I guess I like that they do kind of address it.
He doesn't have to see him now because he's alive.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
All right, so the whole point of this conversation between the two of them is it kind of establishes that, again, them the whole arc of the first season is that they become really best friends. They're really good friends with each other, and here we see a big dynamic in that friendship is that they both get a lot of crap. They both have terrible parents who've done really bad stuff, and they're both trying to do their best, and they're kind of friendly and stuff, or at least struggle to make friends, all this kind of stuff. But she's glass half full with the crap that life has served her up. He's glass half empty, and that why can't it be better? And he again,
hmm
we've epitomized this with him like fleeing, the escapism with his story. He's gone to another universe and he's been making a mess of it. And he's been falling in love with the falsehood.
mm
She's embracing the reality, but with a chipper can-do attitude. Because I love that on in both respects. I mean, Adebayo, you're rooting for, but again, it's like it is an uphill battle, and just things keep not working out for, her, despite it's all just not going well for her. On the flip side, again, Chris, I can't help my heart goes out to him. I understand absolutely why he's making these decisions. The Justice Gang just like crushed, stomped on his hopes and dreams very
yeah, yeah,
rudely, and it's not coming together for him. Every time he tries a good faith effort, everyone pushes him away, and Rick Flag, Senior is gunning for him all because he did what Waller said, and it was she basically kind of manipulated him because of his code and everything. That's why she put him on there. Like, why do you need two blood sports essentially in the suicide code? Well, she needed two because she needed one that would not bump up against it, anything ethically.
yeah, yeah.
So, point had this conversation about the whole, the escapist mentality, and I love the position that we put Peacemaker in now, where now he feels. Initially, it was a choice, but now he really feels obligated to impersonate Peacemaker too. You know, because he has to. He basically he needs to impersonate Peacemaker too because it's kind of penance for killing Keith. And that having killed Keith's brother in that universe, he just feels he cannot.
Yeah,
He doesn't want Keith to suffer the way he did or turned out screwed up like he did with his brother dying. After seeing how close he is with that Peacemaker.
yeah. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. But it's probably gonna be that he'll be in the dimension and he'll just see that something about this dimension isn't as right as he thought he was, and I think then he'll just accept that like his like main reality, that's like just where he belongs, even if the dimension does have what he wants, like his brother and his dad and stuff.
Now, you heard the Nazi theory?
Yeah, I see that it's so far mostly like white people in the dimension.
Yeah, now here's what I think is going to happen. Okay,
hmm
I'm not sure which episode. Could be. It's probably going to be 6. I honestly think we're not going to go back until like the end of episode 5 or this full on episode 6, and that's when we properly go back in the thing. But when we do, I think it'll be Chris and Adebayo. And Adebayo is going to go there, and that's when he's going to get a lot of funny looks. Like, what's wrong with? What are you doing? Why would you bring her here? And he's like, what do you mean? I think it's going to take him a beat to really pick up on what's happening. She's like, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I think that's probably
I
what's
think
gonna
him
happen.
bringing like Adebayo, this is a bit, but I'm convinced like she's gonna be the way we're gonna realize it because it's gonna be this whole thing of like it's like he's trying to sell her on the idea of this being like a perfect escape, and she'll be the one the crushing reality of like no. And what's really occurred to me is that in the way we've interpreted Peacemaker, the character in the show, assuming this whole that is our payoff, by the way, the whole like the Nazi kind of like or the white supremacist kind of world that we might be entering into.
Yeah.
I mean, his whole character is that Peacemaker in the comics apparently his grandfather was a Nazi, and that's kind of when they got the idea. Let's take that element of the character and let's blend it with uh, White Dragon in the comics. Was a white supremacist bad guy, but he had no relation to Peacemaker. What if we took that and we kind of combined those elements, and that's kind of where we've taken that, we've applied that to Peacemaker's mission, where Peacemaker he's under the like episode one, first scene of Peacemaker is this hilarious scene where it's him and Jamil the janitor, where it's basically him like I just love the mundane thing of Peacemaker. He's attached himself to this idea, which is well intentioned, but by the same token, though, because of the people he surrounds himself with, and comes from the stock that he comes from, he is kind of doomed to be seen as like the racist superhero,
Yeah, I guess
Where
that's true. Yeah,
where he is not, he's not, but absolutely, I love in that conversation though. It's like, but that's kind of like well, this is like the path that we keep going down. It's like Peacemaker is not racist, but by the same token, though, it's like he keeps associating with these racists, and he can't escape the shadow of it, no matter what he does. It's just he's just kind of doomed to be in this endless cycle because of where he
yeah,
comes from, and it's unfortunate,
and
and we the audience are rooting for him, but he just can't catch a break in that regard.
then he could be in a dimension where it's like this white supremacist world. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
man,
So I just love all that, and I love like this cosmic payoff with this character that we keep doing. It's great.
yeah.
All right. So meanwhile, Red Saint Wild he is gearing up. He's got a third eye's been opened because of that fall in the rock. He's got like the bloody little third eye.
Yeah.
So presumably this is not the first time this has happened to him. I think assuming he gets like an injury like on the third eye, that's when he performs a ceremony during Eagle Hunt. So it's like the occasion has presented itself. So he does the proper ceremony so he can track the eagle. So he's tracked the eagle down to the cabin.
Yeah.
And that's our episode. And we always end we honestly every episode of Peacemaker always ends with like a musical number of some kind.
Yes, they do.
Yep. All right, and that's it.
Yeah, it was a short episode, like sort of like episode 3.
Indeed, it was. Yes.
Mm,
I'm just gonna bring
that's
this
good,
up. We don't have any other place to. Little Blue said, "Just saw this. Christina Milotti will not be appearing in the Batman Part Two, according to Matt Reeves." I mean, yeah, there's probably not room for it.
okay.
They got to do other stuff. I mean, she got a whole TV show, in which may or may not be gearing up to do a second season. So I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, I think also Penguin is also not gonna have a big role there. Apparently, that's what
Yeah, that's
Comcast
the
said.
thing. Penguin's not going to have, he's not going to. He'll fit in the story the way he needs to, which is going to be we'll have a scene at the Iceberg Lounge, and we're done.
Yeah, and also
Yeah.
thing. So to say, uh, yeah, I guess with Penguin season 2, I don't know. I feel like if it does happen, it will probably be after the Batman Part 2. But at the same time, I feel like it's such a complete story that I don't think it doesn't need a second season.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
All right. So that said, I think we wrapped up. I think so yeah, it's a short episode, and hopefully next week maybe a little bit more juicy with the material, but pretty good all around. I'd say. Would you agree?
Yeah, pretty good as usual.
Okay. Also, Chris is barreling into a trap. So she set a trap. Like Hardcore has asked him to meet her at the park, and it's what he's on his way to do. But again, we set up that he's borrowed Vigilante's car, and he has a plan. Depending on what her response was, she might have tipped him off, or at least give him enough to tip him off. Which that
Yeah, I
might be
think
her way
so.
of helping. Like she gave him probably a fair chance of like figuring out that something was up.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think Harcourt would like betray Peacemaker that like that. Even if like she feels guilty, I think she would just find a way that like so Chris can get away.
We've set up that Harcourt is loyal to her team. Like in the first season, when Adebayo screwed him over with the journal initially, the diary, she
Hmm.
she got really she got really sad at Adebayo. So it really seems like she's again it would be out of character for, but she is desperate. So I don't know. We'll see how far gone she is on that, but it probably just gave him a tip off of like a subtle tip off of some kind. Also, I just want to highlight this too. I love that the door technology. I get Monsters Inc. vibes from it. I really like that. There's a lot of
Oh yeah,
Monsters Inc.
yeah. Actually, yeah. Like the door, like you open and it's like almost like another world. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I never thought
Plus, you
about
have
that, but that's a
Vigilante,
good
like
point.
he's putting doors on it too, and everything, like hinges and like an actual door on the thing.
Yeah. Speaking of Vigilante, do you agree with some people that he's not in it a lot? Because for me, I felt like, okay, yeah, I feel like he's been enough. And I
Well, I
guess
think the
I
problem is
do
he has
assume,
he.
yes, right?
Well, I think the problem is he hasn't suited up at all yet.
Yeah, 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 he hasn't suited up. But he's been there, though. Like, he has been there. And I assume,
Yeah,
like, in the future episode, six, maybe episode 6, 7, 8, he'll probably suit up and get stuff to do.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I do actually, I just want to say, I hope we see Vigilante in that dimension as well.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if Vigilante in that dimension, if he's the more serious version of Vigilante people are used to. I wonder if that's going to be it.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, the vigilante in the comics is like more serious than the one who is basically almost almost like Deadpool. So that actually, yeah, it would be actually kind of funny if they did that.
Yeah.
That's
All right. Okay. So I want to thank Little Blue for popping by, and I want to thank Mutale for coming on this week.
yeah, it's a pleasure. Always good to be here.
All right, and that's it. We're at. We'll see you next time, folks. Next on episode 5 of Peacemaker season 2, and until then, peace out.
Mm. Later, everyone.